What if a simple conversation with a police officer could become a legal nightmare? Or a trip to the hospital could lead to financial ruin? If you have plans to go to the US, whether you're a skilled worker on a H-1B visa, a new green card holder, or just here as a tourist but feel unprepared for the reality of American culture, this guide is for you. This isn't just a culture guide. This is the survival guide they don't hand you at the border. Alright, let's get into the most critical area, the law. I know a lot of people think, if I haven't done anything wrong, I have nothing to hide. But the US legal system works in a counterintuitive way. There's a core principle here. If you are guilty, you need a lawyer. But if you are innocent, you really need a lawyer. Why? Because an innocent person has the most to lose. The system is designed to build cases, not necessarily to discover the truth. Your goal isn't to explain yourself. It's to protect yourself. This leads to the golden rule: never, ever talk to the police without a lawyer present. You might think, I'll just answer a few questions. What's the harm? The risk is that anything you say can be misunderstood, taken out of context, and used as evidence against you. Your words almost never help you. The safest action is to stop the conversation. So, what do you actually do? It's not enough to just be silent. In some states, silence alone can be used against you. You have to invoke your right. You need to say these exact words: I am invoking my right to remain silent. I want a lawyer. The word invoking is the key. It's the legal term that makes your intention official. Once you've said it, the most crucial part begins. You must stop speaking. Next, you need to figure out your situation. This is when you ask the key question: Officer, am I being detained or am I free to go? This forces a definition of the encounter. If you are free to go, you leave. If you are being detained, you fall back on your golden rule. Remain silent and wait for your lawyer. This protection extends to your property. If an officer asks to search your car, your home, or your bag, your answer is always the same. State clearly, I do not consent to any searches. Remember, you have a right to be free from unreasonable searches. If they have real, probable cause, they'll search anyway. But if they don't, you've just protected your privacy and avoided a fishing expedition. The same logic applies at your front door. If police are there without a warrant, don't open the door all the way. Step outside to talk to them and close the door behind you. This prevents them from seeing anything inside that could be used to get a warrant. Let's rewind to the very beginning, like a traffic stop. Safety is the first priority. The instant you see the lights, make it a habit to pull over, turn off your car, and keep your hands visible on the steering wheel. This isn't about the law, it's about safety. The officer doesn't know you. A sudden movement can be misinterpreted. Visible hands de-escalate the situation immediately. And one critical warning: never run. It turns a minor issue into a guaranteed major charge. If it's safe to do so, film the interaction from a distance without interfering. Video evidence is objective and protects everyone. All of these rules exist because of a harsh reality, summed up by the saying, you can beat the charge, but you can't beat the ride. This means even if you are completely innocent and the case is thrown out, the process of being arrested, jailed, and facing legal fees is a punishment in itself. The goal of these rules is to keep you from ever getting on that ride. Mastering this isn't about being confrontational. It's about self-preservation in a complex system. Next up, we'll tackle a system that can cause a different kind of ruin: your finances. So, you've navigated the legal system. Now, let's talk about a different kind of survival: financial survival. In the US, your health and your wealth are deeply connected, often in shocking ways. Welcome to the rules of your money and your health. Let's start with the biggest shock: the medical bill. If you ever get one, Your first move is non-negotiable. Always ask for an itemized bill. Why? Because hospitals often charge for things you never received. When they have to list every single Tylenol and bandage, errors magically disappear, and the total often drops dramatically. And if you're left with a huge amount of debt, know this: medical bills are negotiable. Call the billing department. Be polite, say you can't pay the full amount, and offer a lower lump sum payment. They'd rather get some money than none, and they will often settle. The best strategy, though, is to avoid these bills in the first place. Know this crucial difference: urgent care is for stitches and broken bones. The emergency room is for heart attacks and strokes. Going to the right place can save you thousands of dollars and hours of time. And this might be the most important rule of all: an ambulance ride is for when you are literally dying. The ride alone can cost more than a plane ticket. If you're able, call a rideshare or have a friend drive you. But even with insurance, you're not safe. Your health insurance company's main job is to find reasons not to pay. You must be ready to appeal denied claims. And always, before any procedure, check that your doctor and the hospital are in network. If they're not, you could be stuck with a bill your insurance won't touch. Now, let's talk about your financial reputation. In the US, your credit score is your adult report card. This single number determines if you can rent an apartment, get a car loan, or even get a job. You build it by using credit responsibly, which brings us to a classic trap: never co-sign a loan for anyone. If they miss a single payment, you are 100% responsible for the entire debt. It can destroy relationships and your credit. And a simple way to save money: the generic brand is almost always identical to the name brand, especially for medication. You're often just paying for the marketing. When you start getting credit card offers in the mail, be careful. Your first credit card offer is usually a trap with high interest rates. Look for a card with no annual fee and a low APR. Finally, a key difference from many countries: you are responsible for filing your own tax returns every year. The government won't do it for you. It's a complex process, but it's mandatory. Mastering these rules isn't just about saving money. It's about preventing a medical crisis from turning into a financial one. So, we've covered how to protect your freedom and your finances. If this guide is helping you so far, please hit the like button and subscribe right now. It really helps this channel grow and allows me to make more guides like this. Next, we'll look at the unspoken social rules you'll need every single day: tipping. We come to one of the most confusing and silently mandatory parts of American life. Don't think of it as a reward for good service. Think of it as an unwritten social tax. Getting it wrong isn't just a mistake. It's a serious breach of etiquette. The rule is simple: for any sit-down restaurant service, tipping is obligatory. This is because servers' base wages are legally set far below the minimum wage, with the explicit expectation that tips will constitute the majority of their income. The standard rate is 15% for adequate service, 20% or more for good service. This is calculated on the pre-tax total, and this applies even if the service was merely acceptable. Withholding a tip is reserved for genuinely negligent experiences. You will also encounter digital tip screens at coffee shops, food trucks, and counter service takeaways. This is a newer, grayer area. Here, a small tip of $1 or $2 is a kind gesture, but not as strictly mandatory. The underlying principle remains: if a person provides you a direct service, a tip is likely expected. From the social contract of tipping, we move to the realities of the American workplace. The first and most important thing to understand is a fundamental misdirection. Human resources, or HR, does not exist to protect you. Its function is to protect the company from you. They are risk managers, not your advocates. This dynamic is powered by the doctrine of at-will employment, which is the law in 49 out of 50 states. This means you can be fired at any time, for any reason that is not illegally discriminatory like race or gender, or for no reason at all. There is no requirement for notice or severance. The implication is stark. Your job security is an illusion. This creates several strategic necessities. First, never disclose your previous salary. In a salary negotiation, the first person to state a number loses leverage. You must force the employer to make an offer based on the role's value, not your past earnings. Second, get every significant promise in writing. A verbal job offer, a promised raise, a change in title without a paper trail. These are meaningless. The written record is your only defense. You may hear the term quiet quitting. This is not laziness. It is a rational response to exploitative practices. It means performing your duties as described in your contract and nothing more, to avoid the expectation of unpaid labor. It is working your wage. And be skeptical of company culture perks, the ping pong tables, the free snacks. While enjoyable, they are often carefully designed incentives to increase your hours at the office without directly increasing your pay. They are a benefit for the company, disguised as a benefit for you. Finally, let's discuss the unwritten rules of public life, the street smarts that keep you safe and prevent social friction. In any major American city, the cardinal rule is this: maintain a bubble of privacy. This means mind your own business, avoid prolonged eye contact, and keep your movement purposeful. Your intuition is your best defense. If a person or a place feels threatening, leave immediately. Do not second-guess this feeling. On the road, driving etiquette is strict. The left lane on any multi-lane highway is exclusively for passing. If you are in it and a vehicle approaches from behind, you are legally and socially obligated to move to the right. Camping in the left lane is a primary source of road rage. Conversely, the thank you wave, a simple hand raise when someone lets you merge, is mandatory. It's a social lubricant. And regarding road rage, your car horn is not an instrument for expressing frustration. It is a safety device to be used only to prevent an imminent collision. The assumption you must make is that any confrontation with another driver could escalate with terrifying speed. Following a car accident, never say "I'm sorry" or admit any fault. This can be interpreted as a legal admission of liability. Exchange insurance information and let the companies determine fault. Never, under any circumstances, leave valuables visible in a parked car. Smash and grab thefts are a pervasive threat in urban and suburban areas alike, and in the digital realm. Remember the core transaction. If you are not paying for a product or service, you are the product. Your attention and your data are the commodities being sold. If you live in the US, what's the one unspoken rule you think every newcomer absolutely needs to know? Share it in the comments below. I'm Bald Explainer. Thanks for watching.